Right, so now we've got the primer on. The next step is to pad the colour in. So what I use for that is in the kit you get a sponge like this, and what I think is a really good idea is instead of using it raw exactly like that, I just put a piece of pantyhose or stocking and wrap it around the sponge, and somehow, I don't know how it works, but it just seems to spread really well, and it gives a nice even finish as well. So there's many ways you can do this. You can have if you're doing a large surface, you can have it on its flat like that. If you're doing a smaller area like this, you can have it up on its edge. You can cut it up into maybe 2 or 3 pieces if you want to, and wrap that in a stocking. So it really comes down to how creative you are, but these are the things that I found to work really well. So what I do now is I've just given that a very light sand because it did have a little bit of grit on it, but it's feeling very good now. So what I do now is I take the colour and I dip the sponge with the stocking in it into the colour, and all we're doing now is just spreading it on nice and evenly, one panel at a time. So very simple. There's nothing tricky about this. It's very easy to do. And then while it's still wet, I'll let it dry. I mean, with some of the techniques you may find, if you like to have a slightly blotchy look, you can do this. If you want to have a more of an even finish, you can just spread it over nice and evenly like that. So it really does come down to your level of expertise and also your creativity as well, of what sort of effect you want to get. So there's no rules to it. The only rule is just get it on nice and as even as possible into all the cracks and the crevices, and you can either finish it off by patting it, or you can just spread it out like that. So I'll just do a couple more panels just to show you how that looks. Again, if you've got compressed air there, just keep the air gun handy, because you can use that to blow out, you know, all those areas where sometimes you get a build up of colour. The last thing you want to do is to have the colour just caked up inside those areas, so it's easy to get it out while it's still wet. So I'll use an air gun on that now. So there we go. Just what I'll do now is I'll cut away and carry on, do the whole thing. For the wipe-on system, you just let that dry, give it an hour or so to dry, and then you can reapply it and just keep going until you have the effect that you want. With the spray-on system, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this whole thing twice, and then I'm going to spray the colour on to get it even. This is a multi-layered system, so it's not a one coat covers all. It's probably about 4 or 5 coats. So you do have time to correct yourself. And yeah, so what I'll do now is I'll just cut away and I'll come back, got it done.